All right, I was having a discussion the other day about why some people get results and others who think that they're working just as hard don't necessarily get the same results. And the guy I was talking to was a fisherman. He was into fishing and I love fishing as well. I've been to some amazing lakes all around England. I've also traveled to France and caught some pretty large fish. And it was funny because we started chatting away and then we started talking about the similarities between the two conversations. So I had a bit of a think about it and I thought it'd be a great example to share with you guys about the similarities in all aspects of business, trading, and really anything in life. What it takes to get results and what's required. And we came up with this really good analogy, so I want to share it with you and I think you'll really get something from it. And I'm going to start with the phrase that kicked off our conversation the other day, and I'm going to use the example of the fishing analogy. So there's a saying that the place to catch the most fish is where nobody's fishing. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain what that means and how it's relative on both sides for the underachievers and the overachievers, and hopefully you'll get something from it and you'll be able to relate to it in your own situation. So I'm going to start off talking about the best place to catch the most fish is where no one's fishing. So if you think about a lake, we've got this big old lake and it's covered with, it's got all woodland around it, and we've got a car park where all the fishermen come in. You have to excuse the drawings. And the most fish congregate over in the hardest place to get to. Okay, so where no one's fishing, you've got the most fish. 90% of the fish are over in the place where most people aren't willing to go. And the reason they go over there is because it's safe. It's where they see the less, the rods, the real lines dropping in, the leads dropping in, the food dropping in, and they congregate in one zone. They think they've got safety in numbers. They're all together. It's less risky. They don't take any risks. They all stay over in the hardest place or the least fished place. Now, the big fish also moves over into that zone, but the big fish has taken a couple of risks. The big fish has made a couple of mistakes and adjusted. He's been caught a few times. You see the big fish come out every now and then. He's got the scar on his lip. He's got a couple of battle scars, but he's big. Well, why is he big? Because he took a few risks and he swims around where the fishermen are, okay? And he eats up 90% of the food, because 90% of the food is going into the place where most of the fish aren't. The fish is where 90% of the fishermen aren't. So the big fish is going around eating up all the food, he's learning, he's taking a few risks, and he's not following the crowd. So he gets the most reward when it comes to food. Now the fishermen all get out of their car and they come round to the bank, the closest place to the car park, and they see all the fishermen dotted up round this side of the lake. Now, as human beings, the fishermen naturally don't want to get out of their comfort zone. They see all the branches and the trees, and they have to climb a log and they have to wheelbarrow their stuff all the way around to the furthest point of the lake. That's the last thing they want to do. That's the last place they want to go. They want to take the easiest route. They like fishing. They want to catch a fish, but they don't want to get out of their comfort zone to go over to catch the most fish. They're all going for the big fish, right? They all think they're going to catch the big fish, but they won't get out of their comfort zone and go over there. So what they do is they get out, they look around, they see most people have plotted up around there, so they think, this must be the best place to be. And they talk themselves into it that safety in numbers, right? Safety in numbers. Safe, no risk. They haven't got to injure themselves going around breaking a leg, going across, getting over a branch or climbing a tree, or maybe trekking through a part of the lake that no one else is willing to go through. And they know they're safe, they know they're in numbers, they know that there's many other fishermen here, and also they're the most comfortable because they know that they've just got to walk to their car, which is just there. The best fishermen in the world want all of it. They want the big fish. They want to go to a lake and they want to catch the biggest fish. How do they do that? Well, it's a case of getting out of your comfort zone, going over to the furthest part of the lake where no one else is willing to go, okay? They have to push all through the branches. They have to go all the way round out of their comfort zone. They have to carry all of their stuff over there. And not only that, they have to be consistent. See, these fishermen who want to go after this big fish, they know that not only have they got to get out of their comfort zone and take some risks, they know that they also have to be consistent, because this fish is wise. This fish knows a hook when he sees one. He's been caught a few too many times. He's a wise fish. So this fisherman who wants to catch the big fish needs to go get out of his comfort zone, take some risks, and be consistent. He doesn't have to fish tons of lakes. The best fishermen in the world fish one lake. They go for one lake at a time. They focus on one thing. They get out of their comfort zone. They take some risks. And they're consistent. They'll go there night after night, week after week. They'll sleep in the rain, whether it's muddy, sunny, snow, rain, whatever. They'll just keep showing up and keep showing up and keep showing up, because those are the guys that you see holding the big fish, holding the lake record. So this analogy really is a law, and you can liken it to anything in life. Because 3% of the world's population control 97% of the world's money. And that's essentially what's happened here. From the fish's point of view, you've got the small fish taking the safe bet, safety in numbers. They don't want to get outside their comfort zone. They think they're safety in numbers. They don't want to take risks. So they end up settling for less food. Whereas the big fish takes some risks. He goes around, takes some risks, makes some mistakes, gets caught a few times, but ends up with the most food. Most of the fishermen want to settle for safety in numbers, less risk. They end up with the least fish, but they're safe. They haven't had to risk getting through the lake or climbing a tree. The best fishermen took risks, made some mistakes, learnt, was persistent. He was consistent, he was disciplined, and he ends up catching the big fish, having his photo taken, taking the lake record. With humans, 97% of the world's population are in a comfort zone. They're willing to choose unhappiness for uncertainty. They're willing to settle and just stay what they're doing, even if they hate what they're doing, they hate their situation, but they would rather do that than be uncertain, because there's no certainty that that guy is going to catch a fish. He could be consistent and take risks and show up every day, and he doesn't know he's really going to catch a fish. And that's when it comes down to belief. So if you believe that you can do something, then you need to take the risks, you need to get outside your comfort zone, and you need to go and do it, and you need to be consistent and disciplined, and you will absolutely get the results that you are after. And lastly, remember, you don't have to chase lots of different things. As long as you're consistent and you focus on one thing, you'll get there quicker than you know. So that's it for the blog. I thought it was a bit of a fun analogy, inspired by a chat I had with a guy the other day. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.